seeks to end a policy in the city of Houston designed to support minority businesses.
Quanell Lex and Charles Adams weigh in.
Quanell, in 1984, the city of Houston initiated a minority business enterprise that specified certain contracts that had to go to companies that were owned by people of color. Right? We have a white-owned business, a male and a female white-owned business, a lawn care or landscaping business that has filed a federal lawsuit challenging that, saying that it unfairly discriminates against. I think we're going to see these lawsuits crop up all over the country in the wake of the Supreme Court's anti-affirmative action ruling in university decision-making for admissions. I do think at some point, I mean, now it's 2023, we're almost 40 years later, at some point we have to reevaluate these affirmative action programs and think, hey, at what point do we get to America where we're not going to discriminate against anyone based on their skin color, black, white, Latin, Asian, anything?
Affirmative action was nothing more than a hypocritical trick. The most Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us in the 1960s. He said affirmative action in the 19 Civil Rights Legislative Bill of 1964 was nothing but a trick to trick black people into believing that the government was going to do something for us to give us equality in the field of business and opportunity. It never happened. When you do the research of affirmative action right here in Houston since '84, the largest benefactors of affirmative action contracts in the city of Houston have not been black people. White women were at the top because they were considered to be a minority. Then you have Arabs, you have Asians, you have others, Hispanics, but it was black lives that were fought, bled, and died to bring those laws into existence. It was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. who led those marches along with others to fight for laws like that to be put in place to give us opportunity and equal access. So with a straight face, you're making the
argument that a city that has a black mayor, that has an African-American dominated city council, you're arguing that they're still discriminating against black people, thus white people shouldn't be able to object about open discrimination against them.
No, they can object, but what I'm saying is we as black people have to be careful about fighting for it because we never truly benefited from it.
It's okay?
So we as black people have to look at the real facts of affirmative action.
Anyone based on their skin color?
I believe that if you're trying to give equal access and balance the playing field that historically was imbalanced, then you have to do something like affirmative action. But affirmative action was a trick and never benefited black people.
When you're telling, hey, white folk, don't apply.
No.
Hey, Latin folk, don't apply.
That's not what happened. In the city's charter, it stated with affirmative action that these contracts had to have minority participation. For so long, minorities got no access to contracts.
But that was 40 years ago, and now you think white men should just go to the back.
Still not
white men go to the back of the bus.
Access to contracts
white
to black people.
Go to the back of the bus. White men that weren't even alive 40 years ago.
You made everybody else go to the back of the damn bus.
I didn't ever do that.
And your people
my generation
from the back of the bus.
And you are still hung up on it.
Well, now it's time to somebody else drive that bus.
Let's end discrimination for everyone.
And let's make the historical wrongs right, and let's do reparations here with affirmative action.